Hello everybody, and today we are doing What If Deku Was a Wolf, Part 2. And yeah, this is Itaku. Onto the video. Okay guys, continue where we left off. All Might points Izuku in the direction of the orphanage and just says, "Please, kid, just go there. It's for your own good, so you can get a new start at life with some new folks." Well, bye. As All Might was just completely smoking, and right after he jumps over there, he lets his entire body just give out, and he goes unconscious. He honestly thought at first that it was just a fan trying to get an autograph, but it quickly had escalated. So, Izuku is just like, that was an interesting turn of events, as he keeps walking over to his neighborhood with the compass. Like, I'm not going to a family. After all, I haven't had one in so long. What's the point? As Izuku eventually arrives at Bakugo's house and stares at the house like, this is it. This is Kachan's house. As he looks to the side and says, that was my house. There's no one in the driveway. I guess she left. As he sees Bakugo through the window and just stares at him. And Bakugo eventually notices Izuku and is like, who is that kid? As he sees Izuku, but what he's saying is, a kid with blue hair, and that has very dirty clothes that clearly don't fit him as well. And he's staring at him. So Bakugo comes outside and is like, what do you want, jerk? As Izuku's like, hi, Kachan. As Bakugo quickly drops to the floor like, there's no way it's you. As Izuku's like, that's not the talk I like to hear from Kachan. What happened to your confidence? As Bakugo starts crying like, but you were gone for so long. What happened? As Izuku looks to the ground like, as Bakugo's like, you heard me, nerd. Answer me. As Izuku's like, my mother abandoned me, okay? Okay? I just wanted to drop by and say hi. And I wanted to ask if I could live with you guys, because I don't exactly have anywhere to go. I've been homeless for around 14 or 15 years. I lost count at 11. The calendars were weird. As Bakugo's just like, he was surprisingly smart in daycare. Yeah, I guess I can go ask my mother. As Bakugo quickly runs inside and tells Mitsuki the entire situation. And Mitsuki quickly and gladly lets Izuku in. And Izuku even gets his own room that was just there for extra storage. And when Izuku moves in, Bakugo and him start catching up. And Bakugo says he'll be signing up for the hero course in UA High School. As Izuku's like, I'll do that too, I guess. As Bakugo's like, but it's really hard to get in there, nerd. As Izuku's just like, I mean, by the way you talk, it doesn't sound that hard. So your court. Okay. Not the nicest thing when your phone just randomly cuts your video off.
Yeah.
Ignore that. Anyway, Izuku just agrees with Bakugo, like, yeah, I'll also sign up. So, Katsuki, I probably need to learn stuff for the exam you told me about. Anyway, Katsuki just throughout eight of the months of training, he just tells Izuku everything he knows about learning and stuff, and tells him all the stuff he knows, because Izuku knew nothing. So Izuku now, knowing enough to do the written portion of the exam, and the rest of the 2 months were Izuku training his quirk up, and he got better at shifting to human and wolf form, and this time it didn't even take any energy for him. He could instantly turn into one. So yeah, that's good for him. Please tell me I'm recording. Okay. Okay, just making sure, guys. Anyway, about 2 weeks after that, Bakugo and Izuku arrive at UA High School, and Izuku's like, never thought I'd ever see something like this. I hope we can do this, as he looks to Bakugo, and Bakugo's like, well, I'm obviously getting in. I'd rather you get in. As both of them walk in. And Bakugo aces the written portion, but Izuku barely passes because, he obviously hasn't known much besides the 8 months that he was taught. So, he barely passes. But when they get to the robot part, when President Mike says to start, Izuku immediately starts running with his wolf form, and eventually he finds a huge lump of robots, and he's like, yes, finally, as he pounces on them as he turns into his wolf form and starts ripping them off. Well, their robotic parts off, tearing off lots of parts, and Izuku is a really strong wolf, keep that in mind. And he's got like a lot of super strength, stuff like that. So yeah, Izuku had pretty smooth sailing throughout the exam. He'd gotten around 87 near the end of the exam, but near the end he heard someone yell help, and he's like, oh, that's one of the words Katsuki taught me, as he quickly runs over to where he heard someone crying out. And the girl points to something up in the air, and he's just like, what is it? As she points to the massive 0-pointer staring at them, and the 0-pointer about to stomp on Izuku. Izuku quickly jumps on its foot as it goes up to its head and stabs it through the eye with his claws, as he quickly kicks as hard as he can on the head, and he backflips off of the robot, landing on Ochako's hands, making him float just at the right time. And then he falls on Ochako. So Izuku's like, oh, I'm so sorry. As Ochako's like, no, it's fine. You saved me after all. My name's Ochaku Uraka. What's yours? As Izuku's like, mine's Izuku Katsuki. As Ochako's like, oh, that's fine. Well, looks like the exam is over, as President Mike tells them it's all over and to go home. And 2 weeks later, Izuku gets a letter in the mail telling him that he has made it into UA High School, as he quickly runs over to Katsuki. And he's like, Kachan, I got into UA! As Bakugo's like, I don't care, nerd. I also got in. It's not special, you know. Yeah, I'm going to keep checking that, guys. Sorry. Anyway, Izuku walks over to Katsuki the next day, like, so is this where we go to school? As they're at the building. And Bakugo is like, yeah, it is Deku. As Izuku quickly follows behind Katsuki as they eventually find the 1A room. And they sit next to each other. And Bakugo is like, you good, nerd? As Izuku's like, yeah, I'm fine now. As Bakugo props his feet up on the desk, and Ida quickly comes over to argue with him. But right as they start bickering, Izuku just pushes him into the wall. Like, don't talk to him. As Izuku quickly sits down again. And Bakugo's like, I have raised him perfectly in my arts. As he basically taught him everything from scratch. Even building a personality for Izuku. So, yeah. So when Aizawa tells them all to get their uniforms, Izuku grabs his blue one, and when he's waiting to say he got second place in the exam next to Katsuki, like, yeah, he probably beat me. As Izuku's called up first, and he's super surprised, like, I actually got first. As Bakugo's slightly annoyed, is like, of course he's the one who beat me. And Bakugo watches in astonishment as Deku reverts his entire right arm into a wolf arm and gets out his claws like, wolf, fang, throw. As he throws the part of his hand, releasing it in like a wolf style motion or whatever you could call it, and he gets around 1,020 meters, and he's really surprised, like, I actually did it, yes. And Izuku then walks back and sees Bakugo slightly annoyed. And when Bakugo does his throw, he comes back as like, I can't believe I lost to the nerd. And after all the exams, Izuku ends up getting third place next to Momo and Todoroki. And behind Izuku was Bakugo, as you'd imagine. And Bakugo's so confused, like, I taught him everything I know, and yet he still finds a way to beat me. How? As, after that, Izuku comes home to a very angry Pomeranian boy. As, the next day, when they arrive in 1A, they're greeted by All Might. And All Might's slightly annoyed that Izuku's there, like, thought I sent him to the orphanage, what the heck. And, he still happily greets, Izuku and lets him stay there. So, also by this time, Mitsuki had adopted him, but All Might didn't know that. And Izuku, coming out with his costume, which was just a sweater with revealing his wolf ears, and also he has a visor on his face for glasses that alerts him of any person nearby and if someone is in danger. Also, he has a little makeshift piece on his tail that when it touches the ground, it shows him the surroundings and everything about the buildings. So, quite good for Izuku. And when Izuku is revealed to be facing Bakugo, Bakugo gets really excited, like, I can finally put that nerd in his place. As when All Might announces the fight to start, Deku and Uraraka versus Bakugo Katsuki and Ida Tenya. When it starts, Bakugo immediately comes around the corner, firing at Izuku like, I'll put you in your place, nerd. As Izuku makes his legs into wolf form, like, so it seems the bomb is on the 5th floor, and it's only Ida there, and he's guarding it. So be careful, Ochaka, as he quickly learns about the building, knowing that it has a weak spot right under him. As when Izuku dodges Bakugo's signature right hook and throws him onto the ground, Bakugo collapses through the floor and hits the cement under the ground. And Bakugo's like, ow, that hurt. As Izuku lands on him with both of his legs and arms in wolf form, and his legs pinning him to the ground while he used the capture tape on Bakugo's front, quickly capturing Bakugo. And Bakugo, now just left there in the little crater, not being able to move, is like, maybe it wasn't the best idea to rush forward. I will never admit defeat, though, as he continuously tries to break through the capture tape, not being successful at all. Anyway, when Izuku eventually arrives at Ida's place, he sees Ida about to defeat Ochaka with a punch, but Izuku catches it with his wolf claw and quickly uses his claws to go into Ida's skin as Ida groans of pain, and Izuku punches Ida into the wall and quickly runs over to the bomb, but Ida kicks him in the throat, quickly launching him up into the air and uppercutting him and then kicking him across the room. And Ochako then getting kicked in the gut by Ida and sent right next to Izuku, like, you almost got me there, filthy heroes. I will never let you touch my device. As Ida starts powering up his engines and immediately rushes at Ochako, thinking he finished Izuku for now. And as Ida goes in at Ochako, Izuku quickly maneuvers Ida's hair and throws him into the wall, nearly knocking Ida out while he's also stuck. So while Ida's stuck in the wall, Izuku quickly gets the bomb, and All Might reveals that the heroes have won. And yeah. So after that, the next day, they go off to the USJ. And while 13 is explaining some rules to them about the USJ and what they'll be doing, a purple portal suddenly enters in the middle of the USJ. And Izuku, surprised by this, is like, look, there's a purple portal down there. Could it be fake villains? That'd be a pretty cool design, as everyone suddenly looks over to there. And yeah, that's where we'll be leaving off everybody. So yeah, this is 700 sub special will be next part, guys. Or just something else, maybe. And yeah, this is Itaku signing off. Bye-bye.